Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Rassie Erasmus has announced his team to take on Ireland this weekend, with the big news being F.MNGOMEZULU will be part of the 23 after being named on the bench. A 6-2 split. Bomb squad time it is for the Boks against Ireland at Loftus. Kickoff at 5 o'clock. And Currie back to captain. Andre Pollard back with the keys at 10 and set to be an absolutely seismic clash. Some big news is Kwagga Smith starting at 8. No Evan Roos, for example. Gerard will get his opportunity as well. MARX forming part of the bomb squad. A very experienced side, and a side which I think has all it needs really with regards to a mixture of experience and sort of BMT and physicality at the worst. Basically, I think it needs to beat what is a very, very good Irish side. Let's get into it, shall we? So in terms of the starting lineup, this is how we do line up. In the front row, it is Recheka Baditwe, Ox in chair, next to Bongi Minambi and Frans Malherbe in that starting front row. Yesterday, when I did my predicted team, I had Malcolm Marx to start. I wondered if they might be a little bit worried about his fitness, and they always like to sort of be able to remove a player rather than sort of put him on, if that is the case. But he will form part of the bomb squad. We have seen this combination of Bongi Minambi starting, Malcolm Marx coming off the bench quite a lot in the last sort of 4 or 5 years. So nothing too much to panic about there. The expected lock combination of Eben Etzebeth next to Franco Mostert, incredible amount of experience in that tight 5. In fact, Bongi Minambi being Oxenchera being the only one to have fewer than 50 caps. After that, it is Bongi Minambi who's the least most experienced with 69 caps rather. So it shows you how experienced that tight 5 is. Speaking of experience, how's this for Currie, Peter Toy, and Kwagga Smith getting the backing over there? Currie, 83 caps. Peter Toy rather, 78 caps, and Kwagga Smith with 41 caps. It's not great news if you're Evan Roos, for example, who had a chance to show what you're about against Wales, doesn't make the 23 against Ireland. So had a chance to, I think, have a bit of an inside go at that number 8 jersey, but I think has fallen down the pecking order, evidently, given the fact that they are backing Kwagga Smith, who has become such an important part of the Springbok team. I'm not massively surprised he's starting. He has been used so effectively off the bench, but I think it's all about battle stats, and he just has it all, doesn't he? He hits so many rucks, he carries the ball so often, he's so good with the scramble defense, and I think that will be a very important part. Ireland do play such a good attacking brand of rugby. They do look for those line breaks. They play so much off 10, off the shoulders, for example. Having that pace in Kwagga Smith to help with that sort of scramble defense is going to be massive this weekend. Faf de Klerk partners Andre Pollard. It's always an interesting one, isn't it? How many people always ask for Faf de Klerk to be dropped. I never understand it. He started 2 Rugby World Cup finals. He's always been at the center of that Bok defense, for example. I think he's absolutely superb. I think he is up there with the all-time greats. Very, very strong. I mean, a lot of people don't like sort of the box kicking, which is an instructional thing. So I've always questioned the criticism, to be honest. Andre Pollard at 10, as expected. It's experience, it's BMT, it's good goal kicking. It's very interesting to see how he'll play. Tony Brown yesterday speaking about the fact that at under 20 levels, he was so dominant on the gain line and a sort of attacking natured fly half. We'll all remember that sort of try assist he had, where he chipped over the top of the midfield, regathered, looked ahead, had no other options, put it to the boot, grabbed it towards the left-hand side to be finished off and in that team that won the under 20 championship. So that is what Tony Brown wants Andre Pollard to go back, something sort of going back to his roots. And we've seen glimpses of that when he's been at Leicester Tigers. And I think it's an exciting thing. I don't think people need to take it as an insult, the fact that I think he's moved away from that, because it's not like it's going to affect his goal kicking, for example. It's not going to affect his defense, which we all know is rock solid. But if we can get him to play a little bit more expansively, for example, then it opens up the entire team. The back 3, Cheslin Colby, Currie Arnsel, Villiers notching up his 94th cap. Once again, I think that back 3 was pretty much set in stone. If there was going to be a potential injury to either Currie Arnsel or Cheslin Colby, I think Edel van der Merwe would have slotted in. I don't think I've had any issue with him. And then Damon Delende and JC Creel, I think will set a record, or tie a record at least, for the most capped Springbok midfield ever. I think they get, they're around about 29 starts together in that midfield, and it's the midfield that won us the World Cup last year. Off the bench, this is your bomb squad. Malcolm Marx, Gerard Vincent Koch, Interesting to back Currie in a camp. They've gone with a genuine loose head as opposed to Trevor Nyakani, Thomas Latoy, who are sort of swing props. They've gone with Steenekamp, who's had a really solid season for the Bulls. He is the most inexperienced player in this, him and F.MNGOMEZULU have only got the single cap. So we're interesting that he is being backed. And then they've got Marcel Murat, Arceus Neyman, and Marco van Staal. So that's sort of classic 2 locks and a flank type of option over there. It's interesting, Marcel Murat is somebody a lot of people have questioned how he's always continued to be in the Springboks setups, despite maybe not always impressing for the Stormers. A lot of that due just to match fitness, to be honest. Just hasn't played enough in the last few years, but he's always been highly rated by the Bok management, and he will form part of that Bob squad, a genuine number 4 sort of tight lock type of option for the Boks. And they've got the Malcolm Start, and I think that's obviously a lot to do with the breakdown. Could have looked at an Evan Lewis, for example, but I think they're looking at slowing that breakdown down. Malcolm Marx, obviously such a great fetcher as well, so I think that's going to be an important part during the last stage of the game. As expected, as Grant Williams off the bench, he does tend to be the option. Brings on a lot towards that stage of the game, can up the ante, but I think an underrated part of Grant Williams' game recently has been his tactical kicking. I think he has improved so much on his box kicking, which is obviously such an important part. And then the exciting Sasha F.MNGOMEZULU does get the backing as well, proving how versatility is key in the Springbok setup here. The fact that he covers 10, 12, 15 makes him so valuable to the Boks. He is the genuine Damian Willemse replacement. If Damian Willemse was fit, you'd probably have him starting at 15. You'd probably have Billy on the bench. That would probably be the case. But very interesting to see, for example, if Sasha F.MNGOMEZULU comes off the bench, where will he play this weekend? At 10, at 12, at 15? We'll have to wait and see, but I think that's, for me, is an exciting thing to look at. Let's look at the record against Ireland. We have played 28, 118, lost 9. We have drawn just the 1. However, recent history, we've not beaten Ireland in a very long time. In fact, since they last toured here, I think it's about 7-8 years ago these days. The average score is 19-15. We have a 64.2 win percentage, which has been dropping a lot. Our biggest win is 38 points to 0. I'll be very surprised if that is the case this weekend. How's this for some experience? Only 2 players in the forward pack, Oxenchair and Quacker Smith, have fewer than 69 test caps, of which Quacker Smith is less than 10 away from bringing up his 50 himself, and Oxenchair 2 away from getting up to that 30 mark. Only 1 player in the back line has fewer than 30 test caps in Currie Arendse. Only 3 players in the team were not members of the Rugby World Cup winning squad, which are Sasha F.MNGOMEZULU, Sal Murat, and Gerard Steenekamp. Villaroo needs only 6 test caps after Saturday's match to join the select club of Springboks Centurions. The test caps for the Springboks starting lineup is 966, the second most experienced team ever selected by South Africa after the 987 cap side for the Rugby World Cup final last year. That's simply Dwayne Vermeulen versus Quacker Smith. There are 403 caps in the back line, with 563 among the forwards. On the bench, there are further 182. The average caps per player in the back line is 57, the forwards 70, and with the players on the bench averaging 22. Experience on experience on experience. And class. Proven players. And, a lot of people have been talking about, no, it's time for the youngsters. No, it's not. It's the time to beat Ireland. That's what this 2-match series is. I want to beat Ireland. I want to win the Rugby Championship. Then we can look at youngsters for the Autumn Nations series and look at rebuilding. But even then, Sal Murat is a new player going to be involved in potentially the next World Cup. Gerard Steenekamp, a new player going to be involved in the next World Cup, potentially Sasha F.MNGOMEZULU. So we've already, in trying to win this massive 2-test series, we've got 3 young players who are part of the next generation. Currie Arendse, for example, is part of the next generation. Grant Williams is still a very new player, is part of the next generation. The pack, obviously, a little bit older, but Malcolm Marx, Bongi and Manambi could probably both potentially have another World Cup in them, for example. So, yeah, there are definitely places where we're going to start bringing in youth, but for me, I want to win this 2-match series. And why wouldn't you? Let me know what you think of the team down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve, and I'll chat to you soon.